You can't make this stuff up. That's what I'm going to talk today about. And you're listening to Inspiring Within. Excuse me, the hay. Gracious. Okay, get ready to raise your vibrational frequency and live from your heart. And I'm your host, Jacqueline Conquest. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while. Had to move the rescue farm and still in the process. Okay, so can't make this stuff up. What am I talking about? All right, so I'm writing my memoir, a teaching memoir, but also I last night started to write a novel. And of course my imagination goes crazy. But what I realized when I was going down that path and experiencing this unfoldment of characters and this quite interesting story where all along I'm thinking, what's going to happen next, as if I was the reader. It was so thrilling. But what I realized afterwards, and I was going on that track, that with my teaching memoir, hence, you can't make this stuff up, that what I've experienced with my metaphysical experiences are something that my imagination could never even create. As a matter of fact, I remember years ago, I think it was in the year 2000, my astrologer had done my chart, and she said, you know, something is going to happen that you're going to have a hard time believing. And I told her, I said, well, that couldn't be possible. My moon is in Aquarius, and I could imagine anything. And she was staring at my chart. Gretchen, maybe you're listening to this now. She was staring at my chart and saying, and she had a very perplexed look on her face, saying, well, I don't know. She says, you're going to be told something. So I was told something. And around the time she predicted, which was, I think it was like maybe the summer of maybe 2000, somewhere around those years. At any rate, what I learned blew me away. I'll go into that another time. But it was truly, truly true that it was something I could have never imagined. And I'm not going to talk about that today, but the point is, in starting this novel and using my imagination, I realized that my experiences, my metaphysical experiences, visions, dreams, premonitions, and what has unfolded in my path are situations that you just can't make this stuff up. So, I want to talk about one of those stories right now. Years ago, I was working with a client, and of course, for confidentiality, I can't give too much information. But anyway, she was in the professional health care industry. And she was having a crisis at her house, and it happened to be that she only lived a mile from me. And rather than meeting up with her at the office, and yes, this was way before COVID, rather than meeting her at the office, I told her I would just go to her house. I did. And it was around this time, like in the summertime, and today is July 10th, 2022. And so I went to her house, and we're sitting in her yard, and she's telling me about what she was grappling and struggling with. And while we were sitting there in her beautiful yard, and it's in a rural area, of course, with my rescue horses, I always need to live in a rural area coupled with rescued goats and sheep and pig and whatnot. At any rate, as she's going on about what she's struggling with, the trees in her yard are talking to me mentally. I could hear them, and they're telling me, would you tell her that we are aware and we're here to support her when she's breaking down crying? They told me she does this all the time. She comes out here in the yard, she sits in her chair, and she's crying, and she feels totally alone. And let her know we're here. We love her. We enwrap her with healing love. So the trees speak to us. So finally I interrupt her and I said, I'm sorry, because the interruption with the trees kept maybe 3 or 4 times this happened. So I finally stop and I say, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to tell you something. I'm getting a message that I need to give to you, and you may think I'm crazy. I don't really care, but I need to get this message to you. So I tell her what the trees say to me. Immediately she breaks down. She starts crying, saying it was absolutely true. She's always in her yard when she's depressed and crying, feeling completely alone. I said, well, the trees tell you that you're here, that they're here to support you, and you can share with them how you feel. She said, okay. All right. So that started going well for her, and maybe about a month passes. And again, I'm only about a mile away from her, and I'm taking care of the rescue animals on the farm. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, I get this message from the trees in her yard. And she says, or on her property, I should say, it's bigger than a yard. They're telling me she's doing it again. She's sitting here crying, feeling all alone, and she doesn't believe that we're here to support her. We let her know we're listening to her. So immediately I text her. I told them what they had told me. Immediately she texts back, and she's like crying with joy, saying she totally forgot, and she absolutely believes that's true. So anyway, you can't make this stuff up, I'm telling you. So talk to your trees. The trees talk to us. They support us. They love us. So much love. Namaste. Love and light. And hoping and praying that you're taking good care and knowing that you are loved. So much love. Stay connected with your heart. Listen to your heart, where you have all of your answers. So much love. Namaste. Thank you for listening to Inspiring Within. Like and subscribe.